Welcome to Storytime. My name is Diane Riley. Today I will read another book about Pinky and Rex. Pinky and Rex are best friends. Pinky is a boy who loves the color pink, and Rex is a girl who loves dinosaurs. Pinky and Rex show us that it's okay to be different, and it's okay for boys and girls to be friends, even best friends. This story talks about traditions. Traditions are passed down from generation to generation. Traditions are things you do with family and friends. They can be the way you celebrate certain holidays. In this story, you will hear about a tradition that Pinky and Rex have with Pinky's grandma and grandpa. Enjoy. The name of the book is Pinky and Rex and the Perfect Pumpkin. It's written by James Howe and illustrated by Melissa Sweet. Chapter 1, Abby. "They're here," Rex shouted from the front yard. "Pinky, Amanda, your grandparents are here." Pinky and Amanda burst out of the house, the screen door slamming shut behind them. "Whoa!" their grandfather laughed as Amanda wrapped herself around his legs. "At least let me get out of the car, Amanda Panda." "You are out of the car, Grandpa," Amanda cried. "And anyway, I thought you would never get here." Would Grandma and I miss pumpkin picking weekend? "Hi, Grandpa," Pinky called. "Hi, Pinky. And there's Rex. How's my good as a granddaughter?" "Great," Rex answered. She loved it when Pinky's grandfather called her his good as a granddaughter. Rex was Pinky's across-the-street neighbor and his best friend in the whole world. But as far as Pinky's grandparents were concerned, she was one of the family. "So, Rex," Grandma asked, "are you all set to go pumpkin picking?" "I've been packed for a week," Rex replied. "Better put your bag in the car then," Grandpa said. "As soon as Abby gets here, we are all on our way." Abby was Pinky and Rex's cousin. She lived a couple hours away and always joined them for pumpkin picking at their grandparents' weekend house at the lake. Rex liked Abby. She and Abby and Pinky were all the same age and enjoyed doing many of the same things. On pumpkin picking weekends, there had been problems sometimes when Pinky's little sister Amanda had been left out. Rex remembered what her parents had said to her that morning. "Try extra hard to include Amanda this year." Rex made a silent promise to herself she would try. "Are we going to stop at the Red Rooster for lunch?" she heard Amanda ask. "Of course," Grandma answered as a car pulled into the driveway. "It's part of our tradition, isn't it?" The car came to a stop and out jumped Abby. "Pinky, Amanda!" Abby shouted as she ran past Rex to hug her cousins. "Hi, Abby," Rex called out, but Abby didn't seem to hear her. "Abby, hi," she called again. Abby didn't even turn her head. Rex's parents had come from their house across the street to join the other grown-ups who were gathering in the yard. Everyone was talking about what a fun weekend the children were going to have. Rex was no longer sure how much fun it was going to be. Chapter 2, The perfect day. All the way in the car, Grandma and Grandpa kept saying how perfect the day was. The perfect day for looking for the perfect pumpkin. The perfect start of a perfect weekend. Rex gazed out the window at the clear blue sky and the trees with their many colored leaves and thought, I want to go home. Everything felt different, wrong somehow. It wasn't Grandma and Grandpa. They were the same as always. They asked Rex how her summer had been and how she liked her new teacher. They even remembered what she would order at the Red Rooster. A hot dog with nothing on it, a large order of French fries, and a vanilla milkshake. No, it wasn't Grandma and Grandpa. It was Abby and Amanda and Pinky. The three cousins buzzed and whispered and laughed among themselves. They started practically every sentence with, remember the time we, or let's do this weekend, or let's do that this weekend. And every time Rex tried to join the conversation, Abby cut her off. Here it is, Pinky shouted, not long after they had left the Red Rooster. Meadowbrook Farm, Amanda called out. Home of the perfect pumpkins, Abby cried. Rex said not a word. Do you feel all right, Rex? Grandma asked softly as they were getting out of the car. You've been so quiet. I'm okay, Rex muttered. Grandpa put his hand on her shoulder. Then, what do you say we do some serious pumpkin picking? Rex smiled. Okay, she said. But just as she started to feel better, Grandpa said to his wife, isn't it nice to see how well the cousins are getting along this year? I'll say, Grandma replied. For once, Amanda isn't being left out. Rex bit her lip to keep from crying. Chapter 3, Pumpkin Picking. On the hay wagon, Grandma reminded everyone of the rules. You can pick one pumpkin each to bring home to carve. With your parents, she said, any pumpkin at all, no matter how big, no matter how small, the kids chanted. The familiar sound of the words began to cheer Rex up. What about gourds? Amanda asked. As many gourds as you want, but the four of you have to find the perfect pumpkin together. That is the pumpkin we'll carve tonight. Last stop, the driver called out as the wagon came to a halt in the middle of a huge field filled with pumpkins. Have fun. Wow, Rex said, jumping down from the wagon. Do you know what I call this place? What? Pinky asked. The Pumpkin Ocean, said Rex. Everybody laughed. Everybody but Abby. Pinky, Amanda, Abby called out. Follow me. The best pumpkins are over here. Rex ran after the others to keep up. There were so many pumpkins that it was easy to find the one to take home. Agreeing on the perfect pumpkin, however, was much, much harder. As each pumpkin was suggested, someone was sure to say, too small, or too skinny, or that one's got a bad spot. When it was Rex doing the suggesting, she noticed that Abby would not only find something wrong with the pumpkin, she would roll her eyes or snicker or whisper in Pinky's ear. One time she even said, "That's the stupidest looking pumpkin I've ever saw. Isn't it, Pinky?" Pinky didn't answer. He only glanced at Rex. and when his eyes met hers, his cheeks turned bright red. Chapter 4, Goofus. "It took you a long time," Grandpa exclaimed that night at dinner, "but you surely did find the perfect pumpkin." The pumpkin sat in the middle of the dining room table, just waiting to be carved. Grandma was in the kitchen making hot chocolate, which they would have with the donuts they had bought at the farm. Everything was going the way it was supposed to go at last. Rex wondered if she had only imagined that things were different. "Hot chocolate and donuts," Grandma called out. "Let the carving begin," Grandpa declared. As everyone gathered around the table, Amanda asked, "How come we do the same things the same way every year?" "Because it's tradition," said Pinky. "So what?" Amanda said. "Traditions give you something to look forward to," Rex said. "Exactly," said Grandpa as he scooped out the pumpkin. "Speaking of traditions, shall we give our jack-o'-lantern the same face we always do?" "Goofus!" the 4 kids shouted at once. That was the name they had long ago given their first goofy-looking jack-o'-lantern. Watching her grandfather draw the lines he would soon cut, Abby asked, "Grandpa, do you think the family reunion we had last summer will be a tradition too?" "I hope so," said Grandpa. "It was fun, wasn't it?" "It was the best," said Abby. Pinky and Amanda nodded in agreement. "Maybe next summer Rex could come with us," said Pinky. "Maybe," said Grandpa. Abby gave Rex a funny look. Chapter 5, The Picture. The perfect pumpkin had become the perfect jack-o'-lantern. "Picture time!" Amanda shouted. "It will have to wait until morning," said Grandma. "But we always take our picture with Goofus," Amanda protested. "It's tradition. We set the camera on top of the counter, we put the timer on, we stand around Goofus." "Yes, yes," said Grandpa. "We know, Amanda Panda. It's tradition." But Grandma and I forgot to check the camera before we left home. There's no film in it. "And all the stores are closed," Grandma said. "Don't worry, we'll get film first thing in the morning and take the picture then." "No fair," Amanda mumbled as she and Pinky and Abby went off to get ready for bed. Rex stayed behind to look at the jack-o'-lantern one last time. It was goofy, but beautiful. "Pretty good job, if I do say so myself," said Grandpa, resting a hand on Rex's shoulder. "But after all, I've had years of practice. Now scoot, good as a granddaughter. Grandma will be up in a few minutes to read to all of you." "Okay," said Rex. She felt better than she had all day. But then, as she was about to go into the bathroom to brush her teeth, she heard voices from the other side of the wall. "I know what we can do," Abby was saying. "We can get Rex to take the picture. That way, she doesn't have to be in it." "But that doesn't make sense," Pinky said. "She's always in the picture. Why shouldn't she be?" "Because she's not part of the family," Abby answered. "That's why." Rex waited for Pinky to say something else, but all she heard was the sound of running water and Abby giggling. "You squeezed out too much toothpaste," she said. Pinky giggled too. Rex lay awake for a long time that night. She listened to the trees cracking in the wind and thought how much noisier it was outside the house than inside. Over and over, she heard Abby's words, because she's not part of the family. That's why. When the clock in the living room struck midnight, Rex slipped out of bed. Shivering, she tiptoed down the hall to the dining room. By the light of the moon, she could make out the jack-o'-lantern in the center of the table. It was grinning at her. Chapter 6, A Terrible Thing. The first thing Rex heard the next morning was Grandpa calling out, "Waffles!" as he walked by the bedroom door. For the briefest moment, Rex felt excited. Grandpa's waffles were one of her favorite traditions of the weekend. But then there came a terrible silence, the kind that fills a house. And Rex remembered. "Pinky, Amanda, Abby, get in here at once," she heard Grandpa shout. Rex suddenly realized she was alone in the room. The others must have gotten up long ago and gone outside to play. "Rex," she heard, "I think you better come in here too." Rex tried not to think about what was going to happen. "Well, I didn't do it," Amanda was saying as Rex came into the dining room. Amanda's arms were crossed over her chest. Her forehead was folded into a scowl. "No one said you did," Grandma said. Her forehead was scowling too, but it was more of a sad scowl than an angry one. Grandpa, however, was mad. "Well, someone smashed this pumpkin, and I would like to know who did it," he said in a voice that meant business. "Maybe it was a burglar," Pinky suggested. "Nonsense," said Grandpa. "I know you did it," Abby said, staring right at Rex. I didn't do it," Rex said. Her cheeks were burning. "Did too." "Did not." "You did it." "Me?" said Abby. "I saw you. And anyway," Rex sputtered, "you're so mean you would do it. You're mean and jealous." "Jealous?" Abby said. "I'm not the one who doesn't belong here." "Now wait just a minute," said Grandpa. But Rex could not wait. She burst into tears. "I hate you," she shouted. "I hate all of you. You can take your stupid picture without me, and without your perfect pumpkin either. I hope you're happy." Rex ran back to the bedroom, slammed the door, and threw herself on the bed. This was the worst day of her life, she thought, and Grandpa would never call her his good as a granddaughter again. Chapter 7, Tradition. A little while later, Rex heard a knock on the door. "Come in," she said in a small voice. The door opened and Grandma entered. "I thought you might be getting hungry," she said to Rex. "Not really." Rex was sitting cross-legged on the floor next to a large drawing. Grandma sat down on the edge of the bed next to her. "I think we all owe you an apology, Rex," she began. "What do you mean?" Rex asked, surprised. "I'm the one who—" "Oh, you owe us an apology too," Grandma went on. "What you did was wrong, but I think we understand why you did it." Rex noticed that Abby and Pinky had come into the room. She looked down, embarrassed and ashamed. I'm sorry," Abby said. "Me too," said Pinky. When the room fell silent, Grandma gently said, "Go on." Abby and Pinky came in and sat on the floor next to Rex. "You're my best friend," Pinky said. I haven't been very nice. "And you're my friend too," said Abby, "even though I haven't been acting like it." "You sure haven't," Rex mumbled. Then she looked right at Abby and asked, "Why?" "I guess it's because, I don't know, I had so much fun with Pinky and Amanda at the reunion last summer. I couldn't wait to get to see them again. I thought you'd spoil it." "I never spoiled it before," Rex said. "I know that," said Abby. "I was just being dumb, okay? Okay? Friends?" Rex tried to smile, but there was still a lot of hurt inside her. "Me too?" said Pinky. "Okay," said Rex. "Friends." "What have you been drawing?" Abby asked. "Oh," said Rex, shifting her body so they could see. "It's a picture of Goofus and the family. See? It's because I wrecked the real Goofus and felt bad there would be no picture this year." "It's good," said Pinky. "Yeah," Abby agreed, "except you left somebody out." She picked up the markers and began to draw. Soon there was one more person in the picture. Rex. "Waffles!" Rex looked up. Grandpa was standing in the door. Next to him was Amanda, wearing an apron and holding a big bowl. "Waffles for lunch, anyone?" Grandpa asked. "How about you and my goodest granddaughter?" "Okay," Rex said. She really was hungry. She hadn't known it until just that moment. "Grandpa, I'm sorry I smashed Goofus." Grandpa looked at Rex for a moment, then smiled. "Thank you for apologizing," he said. Then, motioning everyone to follow him down the hall, he announced, "After lunch, I have a surprise." "A boat ride on the lake?" Amanda asked. "Before the boat ride on the lake," said Grandpa. "I know it's hard to believe, but I went to get film at the supermarket this morning. What do you think I found?" He pointed to the center of the dining room table. There sat another pumpkin. It was big and as round as the moon. "It's perfect," said Rex. "It is indeed," said Grandpa. "Two perfect pumpkins in 1 year. Now that's what I call good luck. We'll carve it right after our waffles." "Will we call it Goofus?" Amanda asked. "What else would we call it?" said Grandma. "And then we will go on a boat ride on the lake?" Grandpa dropped a little oil on the waffle iron where it popped and sizzled. "Of course we'll go for a boat ride on the lake, Amanda Panda," he said. "It's tradition."
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Debbie Lincoln, back to read you some more stories. It's fall, and we always think of falling leaves and pumpkins and maybe a Thanksgiving turkey. So today I want to read you 2 stories about Thanksgiving turkeys. The first one is called How to Catch a Turkey, and it's by Adam Wallace and Andy Elkerton. And they want you to know that no turkeys were harmed in the making of this book. How to Catch a Turkey. Here we are on Thanksgiving Day. It's that special time of year. Yes, I know I am a turkey. That much should be clear. So gather round, I have a tale, and it's really quite a story. What I tell you now is not a joke. It is my crowning glory. It all began 1 year ago. I was at a school, you see. Play preparations were underway, but that didn't matter to me. Some kids walked by in silly clothes, talking about the play. We'll even have a turkey on stage. It's perfect for Thanksgiving Day. Turkey? Stage? No way, no how. Had I really heard that right? I broke out of my pen and ran away with a case of bad stage fright. I burst into the science room, knocked over flasks and beakers, and the cry of, "Catch that, turkey!" boomed over the loudspeakers. So now more children joined the chase with catapults and food, but their goopy mashed potatoes weren't enough to keep me glued. Up next, there was a maze of books that stretched from wall to wall, but with a big hop and a mighty flap, I managed to escape it all. I ducked past chairs and bags and desks. Now that was quite the trick. The kids thought they could make me stop here, but I was much too quick. I ran outside to the jungle gym, thinking I could hide, but the recess yard was all tricked out. I'd have better luck inside. Finally, the kids gave up, but the principal gave chase. My only hope of escaping her was keeping up my pace. I slid into the coach's room and crashed into a chair. I got tangled up in jerseys, but I won't get stuck in there. I ran into a curtain. There was nowhere else to go. I couldn't get past the principal, but the curtain led to the show. My heart was racing. I started to sweat. I couldn't squawk or run. I took a deep breath. I can do this. Who knows? This might be fun. A kid stood up and pointed. "Oh my gosh, he's so cute." "He really is," a parent agreed, in his little mascot suit. I started to smile and even dance while the crowd continued to cheer. I was filled with joy that I took the chance, and that's what started my mascot career. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And that's how the turkey began his stage career. And the second book is a Thanksgiving comedy called Turk and Runt. And the story is by Lisa Wheeler, and the pictures by Frank Ansley. Turk and Runt. Welcome to Wishbone Farm. Turk's parents were so proud of him. He was the biggest, strongest, and most graceful bird on Wishbone Farm. "He's a dancer," said his mother. "He's an athlete," said his father. "He's a goner," said his brother Runt, but no one ever listened to Runt. Every year, the farm animals looked forward to the excitement of autumn. Carloads of people came to pick red, ripe apples from the orchard in September. Folks arrived to choose plump orange pumpkins from the field in October. And come November, it was turkey time. One by one, the fattest, roundest turkeys were chosen. "Chosen for what?" asked Turk. "To be the lead dancer in Swan Lake," said his mother. "To play in the Thanksgiving game, football game," said his father. "To be roasted and gently basted," said his brother Runt. But no one ever listened to Runt. So every morning in November, the family watched Turk practice his dance steps. 1, 2, 3, lift. And every afternoon, the family watched Turk practice his football moves. 16, 23, 47, hike. He's getting stronger, said his mother. He's getting bigger, said his father. He's getting juicier, said Runt. 2 days before Thanksgiving, Madame Waddell, the famous ballet instructor, arrived at Wishbone Farm. She came to choose a turkey. An audition, Mother squealed. It's your time to shine. Go out there and shake those tail feathers. Turk gracefully danced to the front of the barnyard. He leaped, he spun, he twirled and whirled. He did a triple somersault and landed in a split. Look at the size of those drumsticks, said Madame Waddell. That is a beautiful bird. Mother beamed. Father puffed out his feathers with pride. Runt puffed out his feathers too. He threw himself on the ground. He flapped, he flopped, he hissed and sputtered. He gobbled like a maniac as he chased Madame Waddell out of the barnyard. Sacre bleu, screamed Madame Waddell. These birds are crazy. Then she drove far, far away from Wishbone Farm. No Swan Lake, cried Mother. No starring role, cried Father. No roasted Turk with chestnut dressing, cried Runt. Hooray! But no one ever listened to Runt. The day before Thanksgiving, Coach Giblet of the Crow City Corn Shuckers came to pick out a turkey. This is your big chance, said Father. Get out there and strut your stuff. Turk sprinted to the front of the barnyard. He bobbed, he weaved, he tackled and dived. He mowed down every turkey who got in his way. That's one healthy-looking bird, said Coach Giblet. Only the biggest and the best for my team. Father grinned proudly. Mother got tears in her eyes. Runt got tears in his eyes, too. Then his beak began to drip. He coughed and he wheezed. He sniffled and he sneezed. He fell to the ground in a hacking fit of quivering feathers. Good gravy, shouted the coach as he hopped back onto the team bus. These are very sick birds. The corn shuckers deserve better. Then he sped far, far away from Wishbone Farm. No football contract, cried Father. No TV commercials, cried Mother. No Turk sandwich with cranberry sauce, cried Runt. Hooray! But no one ever listened to Runt. It was Thanksgiving morning. Turk's family heard put, put, put of a little old car. Out of the car climbed a little old lady. Maybe she's a talent scout, said Father. Maybe she's a little old dance instructor, said Mother. I hope she's a little old vegetarian, said Runt. Father and Mother pushed Turk to the front of the barnyard. Show her what you've got. But before Turk could perform even one pirouette, the little old lady scooted him aside. Aha! She exclaimed, pointing at Runt. Exactly what I've been looking for. This bird is just the right size for me. What? Cried Mother. Him? Cried Father. Help! Cried Runt. But no one ever listened to Runt. So he ran. He ran behind his father. Don't let her eat me. He ran behind his mother. Hide me, hide me. He ran behind Turk. I'm too young to be basted. Turk saw the look in the little old lady's eyes. He saw the drool on her lips. He saw the fork in the little old lady's pocket. He saw the roasting pan in her back seat. Runt had been right all along. "Work with me, Runt," Turk instructed, "or your goose is cooked." Turk bobbed and weaved. Runt flapped and drooled. Turk leaped and twirled. Runt coughed and wheezed. Runt gobbled like a maniac while Turk dived down and tackled the little old lady's shoes. "Stuff and nonsense!" cried the little old lady, climbing back into her car. "I wouldn't eat these birds if they were the last turkeys on earth." That day, as the families feasted on corn and alfalfa, they had much to be thankful for. "I'm thankful we're all together," said Mother. "I'm thankful for 2 brave sons," said Father. "I'm thankful for such a smart brother," said Turk. "We're not out of the woods yet," Runt warned. "Come December, folks begin planning their holiday dinners." "Dinners that include stuffing?" asked Mother. "Dinners that include gravy?" asked Father. "Dinners that include me?" asked Turk. "Over my feathered body," Runt said. "We're not plucked yet. I have a grade A plan." And this time, everyone listened to Runt. The end. So when winter comes and they're all snowmen, nobody's going to know they're turkeys, and they'll all be safe again. So I hope you enjoyed listening to some stories from turkeys' perspectives, and I hope you have an absolutely great Thanksgiving. Thanks for listening, boys and girls.